Keep praying, baby. 2. You a cold motherfucker. 1. Oh!
Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we break down everything happening in the latest seasons of your favorite shows, movies and pop culture moments. Today we're diving into Euphoria Season 3 Episode 4 recap. I do realize I didn't actually post anything for Episode 3. To be honest, I thought it was actually so bad and boring, I actually ended up falling asleep while watching it and thought, maybe no, I'm not going to waste muscle energy to make a recap that 3 people will watch just because of the sheer stupidity of its content, and that will drive my algorithm down to the depths of hell where the standards of men reside. So I thought I would wait until episode 4 and see if that was any better. Surprisingly, did not completely suck. So let's get into it. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe and follow the account. So, episode 4. It opens immediately in interrogation mode. Rue has been caught by the drug smuggling police from Mexico, and it's a situation where she's interrogated. Rue is brought in for questioning and sort of trapped into actually helping the police to bring down Almo and Lori. So Rue is presented with a deal, and yeah, she does take it with no other options other than going to prison. So Rue becomes essentially a snitch. Now, while the season is becoming more and more ludicrous, we still have to admit Zendaya shows us once again her great, amazing actress talent. You really see that she really has talent and how honestly she's carrying this show at the moment. So during that moment we jump into the aftermath. The drugs that were circulating were actually swapped out with fake substances like sugar pills and laxatives. The operation is now officially undercover and Rue is being used as a snitch. Meanwhile, we shift to a completely different world with the club and stripper storyline. We are back in there and we are introduced to Kitty. Kitty is a new stripper. She is brought in to replace Angel. As we know, Angel was brought in to rehab after relapsing and Kitty was brought in to replace her. Remember when I said in episode 2 recap that something dark was happening when Rue dropped off Angel at rehab? Well, I am the best in the world, as everyone knows, and I was right once again. I always follow my intuition, not yours. Turns out Angel supposedly ran away from the rehab facility, never to be seen again. That being said, I'm pretty sure Almo probably trafficked her with the poor girl and was like, right, you're not doing any more bits for me, so off you go, I'm sending you somewhere else, or like sending you to somebody else. Not much of a feminist Almo over here. Anyways, back in the chaos of the club system, Rue is still navigating her undercover situation. She's being pushed further into dangerous territory while also trying to manage alliances and survive pressure from higher up figures who clearly don't fully trust her. At the same time, we jump to the other side of this story of this season, which is Cassie. Cassie has fully spiraled into her new direction. From what we saw, we sort of understand she breaks up with Nate. I'm not really sure if that happens, but all we know is that she at least leaves him to pursue OnlyFans. We see her being styled and managed and shaped into a marketable persona by Maddie. There's talk of OnlyFans success, stories, influencers making millions, and the idea of that attention becoming money. Maddie introduces Cassie into the elite influencer spaces, connecting her with high-profile social circles and setting her up for viral attention. The goal is simple: turn her into a product that can be monetized. Again, feminism at its best. Meanwhile, Nate is falling completely apart in a different way. He's dealing with a massive financial pressure, debt, and a collapsing image. I'm not going to lie, I feel like everyone is really unlikable this season, and for some reason I feel also dumber. Nate is now completely in debt and is looking at his literal severed toe as a metaphor for his life, thinking that's a good thing, which is honestly just kind of sad because his toe was literally chopped off. So he's literally saying that his life is chopped. That's fantastic. He's trying to present himself as someone in control, even delivering a dramatic corporate style speech about legacy, land, and purpose. But underneath it all, it's obvious he's drowning. His world is cracking, and we all know it. He knows it, we know it. Then we move on to one of the most intensive sequences of the episode. It's the setup for a high-stakes deal involving drugs, trust issues, and betrayal. Rue is now tested constantly with people questioning whether she's loyal or compromised. Rue is looking out at the new stripper Kitty, and she actually saw her. She was crying after her first, let's say, 1 to 5 with these guys in a private room. Noting that the police bugged Rue's phone when they arrested her so that they can listen to all the conversation. Rue is asking Kitty if she's being forced to do this. Whilst that's happening in the toilet, Magic, the character played by Rosalia, overhears this conversation and tells the boss this is the moment that Rue is being suspected of doing something shady, and she kind of knows she's been compromised. At the same time, Cassie is deeper in the influencer pipeline than ever. She's being prepped for a major viral moment, introduced to creators, well, one creator really specifically with millions of followers, and pushed into a situation where attention, drugs, and manipulation all blur together. It all leads to this chaotic party sequence where things spiral fast. This influencer invites Maddie, and Maddie brings Cassie to this party. Then the big influencer invites Cassie and this other influencer back to his room. Now, remember in that OnlyFans creator we spoke about in episode 2 that Maddie was representing? That was her going back to the bedroom with Cassie. They go up in his room, and at that point, if any of us had any doubts about Nate and Cassie being broken up, they're completely gone, because Cassie is acting like she is free as a bird, completely single. Cassie is actually all over the place, not going to lie. She's acting crazy for the attention of this influencer. At some point though, Maddie gets the camera crew to unlock the door and make a viral moment happen between Cassie and this influencer, and it does work. Cassie gives her handle while being filmed in this viral moment, and she blows up. So Maddie was right, but honestly it's just kind of a sad situation. Again, just feels like selling themselves, and perhaps not in the right way. Back to Rue. Just when things get heated, Laurie's gang shows up to the club and shoots one of the bosses. They basically tell him you have to open the safe so they can steal all the drugs and money. Now this is kind of good for Rue, because at the pickup, as we said, the police intercepted and they replaced the drugs with laxatives, meaning once the last batch of real drugs finished, they would have sold laxatives, and that would have been a tell on Rue. Because Laurie's team came, at least, it takes pressure off of her for now. She can say like the laxatives aren't being sold and there's no direct link with her. When they look at the footage of the getaway car, they found out that the only person that was not covered with a mask is the driver, who turns out is Faye. Faye is Rue's friend, and Rue just kind of sells her out. This is a bit ridiculous, not going to lie, to just sell out your friend, but that's a very Euphoria way, apparently, to do things. That is where the scene ends, and the episode as well. Well, that is a bit of a car crash of an episode. Toes are chopped off, OnlyFans girls rise to fame, and drug mules get caught. This episode was a bit better than the previous one, that's why I made this recap, but I think this episode was to focus on the juxtaposition of what we consider prostitution when it's done in the poorer end strip club area, and what it's looked like by being normalized for OnlyFans creators. I feel like this episode showed how ridiculous we normalize one and destroy the character of the person that participates in the other. I think that the essence of this season, I hope it is about this kind of conversation, because even when we look at Jules, we see that she's a sugar baby and she's doing all these kind of similar things. So it's just everything's about like selling yourself in a way, and I think this is the conversation that this season is trying to show. Honestly, I hope this is it, because honestly it's the only thing salvaging the monstrosity that we have been watching for this past month. So if this is the deeper meaning, perhaps there's something good and salvageable for the rest of the season. Anyways, let me know what you thought of this episode, if you agree with my thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will catch you in the next one.